Why chosen one suffers the most. Welcome to the Chosen Bloom. This is more than a channel, it's a sanctuary for the awakened. If you're here, you're not lost. You're being called. You may not expect what I'm about to say, but it's essential not just to hear it, but to hold it in quiet awareness. When something great is on its way to you, silence becomes strategy. Stillness becomes strength, because to whom much is given, much is required. And what's coming to you isn't random, it's sacred. To be chosen isn't about status, it's about service. In God's realm, being chosen means being hand-selected for a divine assignment, one that reaches beyond your own life and into the lives of others in your generation. You were not just picked, you were prepared. Yes, it's an honor, but with that honor comes weight. Chosen ones often walk a path lined with both blessing and burden. Why? Because their spiritual gifts are many: awareness, depth, sensitivity. They don't just see the world, they feel it. They move through life awake, tuned in, absorbing what most ignore. They don't fit in, and they're not meant to. Their rhythm is different. Their insight is different. The way they think, feel, respond, it doesn't follow the crowd. They hear the unspoken. They see what others miss. Sometimes it shows up as dreams. Other times as flashes of knowing, visions, or gut-deep intuition that defies logic. The more a person understands, the more light they carry, the more they will feel the weight of that knowledge. Wisdom comes with a cost. Sometimes, for a family to rise, the one who held it all together must first be broken. The pillar must fall, not because they failed, but because their fall awakens the rest. Pain, in this way, becomes a form of prophecy. Let this be your word of wisdom. If you're walking this path, you're not alone. And if this resonates, don't just listen, stay connected to the source. Subscribe, engage, and remain rooted in the Word of God. You're being equipped for something far beyond yourself. Being chosen is not just a title, it's a function. It means becoming the backbone, the spiritual glue that holds everything together when everyone else is falling apart. God gives this assignment not for your comfort, but for the healing of bloodlines, communities, and futures not yet born. You are called to lift others out, even when you feel like you're sinking. But this calling doesn't come wrapped in ease. The world rarely honors what it doesn't understand. The chosen ones are tested not just by the outside world, but often from within their own homes. Sometimes the very people you're meant to save will question your worth, doubt your vision, or even turn against you. Not because you're wrong, but because your light exposes what they're not ready to face. The moment you become aware that your life carries a greater purpose, it can feel like the weight of the world shifts against you. Obstacles rise from every direction. It's not your imagination, it's spiritual resistance. Because when you awaken to your assignment, all of life seems to test whether you truly believe in it. The pressure increases, not because you're on the wrong path, but because you're finally on the right one. And here's the deeper truth: ease is not always a blessing. Sometimes, a smooth path is simply a sign that your purpose hasn't yet been activated. But when you are chosen, life demands more of you because your life means more. You're no longer just walking for yourself. You're walking for the ones who will follow behind you. Every trial, every delay, every silent battle is refining you. The opposition you face isn't random, it's revealing. It's there to stretch your faith, to sharpen your vision, and to prove to heaven and to yourself that you were built for this. You're not just pushing through personal hardship, you're standing against generational strongholds, spiritual resistance, and cycles that have gone unbroken for years. This is why the chosen often suffer. Not because they are weak, but because they are warriors of light, sent to confront what others were too afraid to face. What you're feeling isn't just personal pressure, It's resistance that rises anytime real change is about to be born. The friction you face is a signal you are on the edge of something meaningful. The weight of the battle may feel unfair, but remember this truth: the harder the fight, the greater the purpose behind it. The greater the cost, the more sacred the reward. You're not just enduring hardship for yourself. You are clearing a path for those who will come after you. Every sacrifice you make, every moment you choose to keep going when quitting feels easier, it becomes a bridge others will one day walk across. Being chosen means your pain has purpose far beyond your own healing. Take Joseph, for example, a young man betrayed by his own blood, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. But through every valley, he stayed aligned with God. And in time, his suffering became strategy. Joseph rose to power, not by avoiding hardship, but by allowing God to shape him through it. What looked like a downfall was divine positioning. His journey wasn't just about survival, it was about saving lives. When famine struck the land, Joseph stood as the answer. What once looked like rejection was actually redirection to a greater assignment. Genesis chapters 37 to 50 show us that divine favor often hides in human betrayal. And just like a thief only targets a house with treasure inside, the enemy doesn't come for people with nothing to offer. The very fact that you are under attack is confirmation that what you carry is valuable. You are not being punished, you are being recognized. The truth is, if you carried nothing of value, there would be no resistance. But being chosen is a call to carry something extraordinary, something that few can hold. It's a weight that cannot be understood from the outside. Because to be chosen is to walk a path unlike any other one, carved by trials, yet lit by divine purpose. This journey isn't about ease, it's about impact. Chosen ones are not selected to fit in, but to stand out, to disrupt patterns, shift atmospheres, and bring light where darkness has lingered too long. They are vessels of change, handpicked by God to break cycles and usher in restoration. Look at the example set by God's own Son, Jesus. His life was marked not by comfort, but by sacrifice. His suffering was not the end, but the bridge to salvation. The cross was not just an ending, it was a doorway. And in that narrative, we find our blueprint, chosen not to escape pain, but to redeem it. This calling isn't about accepting suffering as fate, it's about transforming through it. To be chosen means your adversity becomes your altar. Your wounds become your witness. And your burden, heavy as it may feel, is paired with a divine expectation that you will carry it with grace and use it to light the way for others. Because great gifts always come with great responsibility. And God doesn't entrust that kind of power to just anyone. He gives it to those who can carry it, not with pride, but with purpose. Your suffering is not a series of accidents. Your challenges are not meaningless. They are the refining fires divine tools use to shape you into someone capable of carrying greatness. This fire doesn't destroy you, it prepares you. And what you're being prepared for is far bigger than your own comfort. It's about the lives that will be changed because you endured. Every trial you faced has been crafting something eternal in you. Not for applause, not for ego, but for impact. Because the breakthrough you're walking toward isn't just yours. It's meant to light the way for others still trapped in the dark. Your victory becomes a signal proof that it's possible, that the curse can break, that healing is real. You were never chosen for ease. You were chosen for influence, holy influence. You were anointed not to escape the storm, but to teach others how to walk through it with faith. Your life becomes a bridge others will cross to reach their own freedom. Think of what it means to break generational poverty, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, relationally. When you heal, you don't just rise, you lift. When you break the chain, you don't just escape, you end the cycle. This is why the chosen ones are refined by fire, because what they carry must be pure, strong, and lasting. You are not just surviving for yourself, you are rising for a legacy. Your success is never just yours alone. When you rise, others rise with you. When you break through, it's not just a personal win, it becomes a ripple, a wave of possibility that touches those around you. Your victories will serve as a blueprint for those still fighting their way through. In this way, your life becomes a living testimony, proof that transformation is possible. The breakthroughs ahead of you stretch far beyond your name. They are markers that will lift your family, your community, and even strangers you may never meet. What you overcome becomes a map, a path others can follow. Your pain becomes purpose. Your scars become signs. Every hard-fought battle turns into a stepping stone for those behind you. This is the sacred rhythm of being chosen, perseverance followed by power, fire followed by favor. And this cycle echoes through the lives of others who walked this path before you. Take Esther, for example, a young Jewish woman placed in the palace of a foreign kingdom. Her position wasn't by chance, it was by divine placement. She was chosen, not just to wear a crown, but to carry a people. When the fate of her nation hung in the balance, she stepped forward in faith, risking her own life to speak truth to power. Her courage became her calling, and her obedience became her people's salvation. Esther's story reminds us that the chosen are often placed in unexpected positions for extraordinary purposes. Like her, you were positioned on purpose not just to survive, but to deliver. Esther chapter 4 reminds us that being chosen rarely feels safe or convenient. Esther didn't choose her position, but she chose to answer the call. She stepped into danger, not for her own benefit, but for the salvation of her people. That's the weight of being chosen. It often means walking into uncomfortable, even risky places, for the sake of others. To be the chosen one in your family, your community, or your generation is no small calling. It comes with pressure that can feel crushing and a path that can feel painfully lonely. But you weren't picked at random. The mantle of change rests on you because you have the spiritual capacity to carry it. What feels like suffering is actually sacred preparation. Your trials are not wasted. They are threads in a larger story, one where your triumph becomes a turning point for others. Your victories become the sound of a new beginning, a new pattern, a new legacy. This is what it means to be chosen, to endure when it would be easier to escape, to trust when the outcome is unclear, to keep going not because you feel strong, but because something divine within you refuses to quit. You are called to be a pillar not polished, but proven. Look also to the story of Jeremiah, the weeping prophet. Chosen from youth, burdened with a message that no one wanted to hear. He stood alone, misunderstood, rejected, yet faithful. He didn't avoid sorrow, he carried it. And in doing so, he became a voice for truth in a time of rebellion. His tears were not weakness, they were witness. Like Jeremiah, your pain may feel heavy, but heaven sees it as holy, because what you're carrying is not just a message, it's a mission. One that will outlast you. One that will shift the course of those who come after you. Though Jeremiah's warnings were often ignored, and his obedience marked him for sorrow, he never wavered. He remained faithful, not to applause, but to assignment. In Jeremiah chapter 1, we see that he was called before he was even born, set apart to carry a word that would be rejected. Yet he stood firm, proving that being chosen often comes with deep personal pain, not because God is absent, but because the mission is that vital. And just like Jeremiah, your journey isn't only about surviving hardship, it's about rising through it. It's about learning to thrive even when the pressure feels unrelenting. Your pain is not pointless, it's laying the foundation for a future breakthrough. One that won't just free you, but unlock something for everyone connected to you. So don't run from the weight. Don't curse the fire. Embrace it, because it's shaping you into the very thing this world is crying out for: a living, breathing beacon of hope. Your breakthrough is not a private victory. It's a public legacy in the making. And when it comes, it won't just prove that you made it, it will prove that the calling was real all along. Your story isn't just about your redemption, it's about the many stories that will be rewritten through your victory. Look at Peter, one of Jesus' closest disciples. His journey wasn't flawless, it was deeply human. In his weakest moment, he denied even knowing Jesus not once, but 3 times. Yet in John chapter 21, we see Jesus restore him, not with shame, but with purpose. Peter was not discarded, he was recommissioned. And from that moment of restoration, Peter's life ignited. In Acts chapter 2, we see him transformed from a man of fear into a bold apostle, a vessel of miracles, a leader who helped birth the early church. His failure wasn't final. It was the turning point for something far greater. That's what grace does. It doesn't just heal the wound, it rewrites the entire story. Chosen one, stand strong. What rests on your life is no accident. The weight you feel is a reflection of the strength God sees in you. The calling you carry was not handed to you lightly. It's a mantle heaven placed on your shoulders because your spirit was built to hold it. This path you walk, marked by pressure, setbacks, and trials, is not designed to break you. It is designed to reveal you. Every challenge is a mirror, showing you just how deep your strength runs and how far your courage can carry you. So walk with boldness. Your pain has purpose. Your journey has weight. And your life is the beginning of many victories yet to come. As a chosen one, you must learn to see beyond what's visible, to recognize that your current circumstances are not the full picture. You stand in a unique position, handpicked by God, not just for what you can do, but for who you are becoming. The pain you face isn't punishment, it's confirmation. A divine signpost pointing to the weight and worth of your calling. These challenges are not here to define your limits, they exist to reveal your power. Each struggle is a mirror, reflecting not weakness, but untapped strength. They remind you that you were never built to blend in. You were crafted to carry something greater, something eternal. Life will test you. The trials will come, moments of uncertainty, of heartbreak, of deep internal doubt. But these moments do not mean you fail. They are the refining ground. They are proof that heaven is preparing something through you that cannot be shaken. These storms don't come to destroy. They come to reveal what you're made of, to bring to the surface the fire, the faith, and the force that's been buried deep inside. When you stand firm in the face of adversity, you are not simply surviving, you are rising. You are declaring with your life that no pain, no pressure, no setback has the power to steal what God has already written over you. You don't just endure, you overcome. And in doing so, you become the living proof that the chosen are not exempt from suffering, but they are destined for victory. You lead not just with words, but with your life, your strength, your perseverance, your quiet courage. They forge a path through the wilderness so others can walk more freely. This is the sacred weight of your calling, to be a pillar, not just for now, but for the generations to come. Your role is more than survival. It's leadership in its purest form. You are holding space for your family, your community, and those still unborn. The legacy you're shaping is eternal. When you stand tall, even in the storm, you become a landmark, a living testimony that faith can outlast fear and light can break through any darkness. Your resilience is not just inspiring, it's prophetic. It speaks to a future that hasn't yet arrived but is already watching. One day, they will look back. Your children, their children, They will tell the story of how you stood when everything tried to make you fall. They will thank you not just for surviving, but for showing them what strength really looks like. So embrace your role fully. Because in doing so, you're not just fulfilling a calling, you are stepping into a legacy. One forged by faith, strengthened through trial, and made unstoppable by love. You are the answer to someone's silent prayer. The light someone else will follow home. Abraham, the father of faith, was called by God to leave behind everything familiar and step into the unknown. He obeyed without knowing the destination, trusting that God would reveal it in time. But Abraham's journey wasn't just about relocation, it was about revelation. He faced trials that tested the very core of his faith, including the unimaginable request to sacrifice his own son, Isaac, Genesis 22. Yet even in that moment, Abraham did not turn back. And because of his obedience, God established a covenant with him, one that would outlive him and bless generations beyond number. Abraham's story reminds us that being chosen is not about comfort. It's about trust, deep, unwavering trust in God's plan, especially when it makes no sense. You too are being shaped through trials that feel overwhelming now, but are preparing you to become a blessing to others. Once you break through what you're facing, others will be able to follow through the doors your faith opened. Your pain is preparation. Just like Esther, who was placed in a royal position not for luxury, but for legacy. In Esther 4:14, she was reminded that her position was purposeful for such a time as this. Her boldness saved a nation, and it was her willingness to risk everything that proved she was chosen. And then there's Noah, a man who looked foolish building an ark while the skies were still clear. But God chose him to preserve the future. Through faith and perseverance, Noah carried out an assignment that saved his family and the very blueprint of creation. His obedience didn't just protect him, it protected destiny. These stories are not ancient history, they are divine patterns. You are walking a similar path. The trials, the waiting, the obedience, when it's hard, all of it is shaping you into someone whose impact will echo far beyond your own life. Noah's story is one of profound obedience in the face of public ridicule. While others mocked, he built. While the world doubted, he listened. In Genesis 6:9, we're told Noah was righteous, blameless among his generation, and he walked with God. His faith set him apart. And because he stayed the course, his obedience preserved the future. Humanity continued through one man's willingness to believe when no one else did. And now I ask you, do you understand why everything has felt so hard? The trials you've endured, the resistance, the isolation, the inner battles, they were never random. They were marks of the mantle you carry. As a chosen one, your life was always going to feel heavier, not because you're cursed, but because you're called. You're being refined, shaped into someone capable of carrying a divine assignment far greater than yourself. Each hardship has been training, each setback, a test. Each moment of suffering, a sharpening of your spirit. This isn't just about your journey, it's about the legacy that will be built through your resilience. You are a beacon, a light to those who will follow. And the strength you cultivate now will become their inheritance later. So yes, it's hard, but it's holy. Embrace it with faith. Walk it with courage. Because your suffering is not the end of your story, it is the foundation of a legacy. One that will speak of transformation, strength, and unshakable purpose for generations to come. You see, being chosen isn't just a title, it's a call to rise. The weight of your journey may feel overwhelming at times, but remember, this weight is not a burden meant to break you. It's a mantle you were designed to wear. Every step you've taken, every tear you've shed, every moment you've questioned your path, all of it is shaping you. You are becoming something greater than what you see right now. And this journey, it's not just about you. You are walking a road that's meant to lead others out of darkness. What you endure is a bridge others will cross, a legacy in the making. This path is not designed for comfort, but for transformation of you and everyone who comes after you. Every trial, every resistance you face is divine. It is shaping you into the very vessel of change that your family, your community, and your generation need. You are being prepared to stand firm, to endure, and to lead with grace even when the weight feels unbearable. So when the trials get heavy, when the road seems too long, remember this: you are not walking this path for yourself alone. You were chosen to shift the course of lives yet to come. Your breakthrough isn't just for you. It's for your family. It's for the broken. It's for those who need to see that healing is possible, that cycles can be broken, that darkness can be overcome. The suffering you face is the soil from which new growth will emerge for you and for everyone you touch. Like Joseph, who rose from the pit to save a nation, you may find that your greatest assignment is born out of your deepest struggle. Like Esther, you may be placed in an unexpected position, one that challenges everything you thought you knew about your purpose. Yet it's in that place that you will find your greatest strength. Like Jeremiah, you may carry a message that the world is unwilling to hear, but your courage to stand firm will speak to generations. And like Jesus, your suffering is not the end, it is the beginning of something sacred. The cross was not just an ending, but a doorway to salvation for all. So don't shy away from the fire. Embrace it. Because what you're walking through isn't just a personal battle. It's a divine assignment that will change the course of history. Your pain is preparing you. Your resilience is shaping you. And your victory will light the way for others. The calling you carry is heavy, but it is holy. It is not just about surviving the storm. It's about walking through it with faith, courage, and purpose. You were chosen to be a beacon of hope, to break generational cycles, to lead the lost, and to carry the light into the darkest places. So, stand strong. Embrace the wade. Because in the end, when you rise, you won't rise alone. You will rise as a beacon for others to follow. A living testimony that with every battle, with every sacrifice, the victory is worth it. And when it's all said and done, the world will look at you and see not just the person you are, but the legacy you left behind. A legacy that will echo far beyond your time. You are not just chosen. You are destined for greatness. And that greatness will be the light that guides those who come after you.